Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at a new dual wireless microphone system from Comica called the VMO C. This microphone system was designed for YouTubers, vloggers, and content creators like myself who want professional quality audio in a convenient, small, travel-friendly package. Now Comica is a brand that I've personally been using for years because they've always produced very high quality products at affordable prices, and when they reached out to me to review their new VMO C, I was more than happy to do it and share it with all of you, so let's get started. Now the microphones come in this really nice little case here that you can zipper up if you want to take on travel with you. There's a little pouch here for the cables and little wind muffs. But generally speaking, I'll probably just be carrying everything in just this case. Now the case itself has a couple of features. It has a little LED indicators here to let you know the charge of the internal battery to the charging case. And that internal battery will charge all three microphones at the same time as soon as you insert them. On the bottom, we have a standard USB-C port, so you can plug into any USB-C power outlet. Now using the mics is very simple. I like to take out the receiver first and make sure that comes on, and it does that automatically. And then when you take the transmitters out, they come on automatically and also automatically connect to the receiver. Now I'm not sure if you can see, but this transmitter has a blue LED light and this transmitter has a green LED light. And the blue LED light means that it is connected and transmitting to the receiver with no issues. And you can double check the level meters to see that it is receiving sound. And then the second transmitter here has a green LED light, and that means that it is transmitting and connected to the receiver, but it's in noise cancellation mode. And I'll demonstrate that later. Now let's take a closer look at the transmitter. On the side here we have two buttons, one for each microphone, and this just simply controls the input levels coming from the transmitters, and we can adjust that from 1 to 4 like so, with 4 being the loudest. And then on the side here we have the power on off switch, so you would press and hold the power down or power on this device, but it also acts as a toggle to switch between stereo mode, safety mode, and mono mode. Now you should get 6 to 8 hours of runtime on the internal batteries. However, each device has its own USB-C input ports on the bottom on the transmitters and here on the side for the receiver. And then one more thing is that the USB-C port here on this device has a dual functionality, and what you do is you insert the included cable here and it splits it into the USB-C power input and also a headphone jack input, and that's a standard 3.5 millimeter jack, and you can use headphones with this device to monitor your audio, and I'll demonstrate that. And then one more size reference. Here's my Olympus OM1. You know, it's a tiny micro four thirds camera, and you can see it slides on nicely onto the top into the hot shoe. And then I just simply plug in the 3.5 millimeter jack, do a little cable management there, and we're all set. Now one other thing I want to mention is that you'll notice that on the eyepiece that the microphone is relatively flush to the eyepiece. It does stick out just a little, but I can still get the eyepiece up to my eye. All right, and here's another look at it on the camera itself with the cabling. And I have no problems bringing it up to my eye to look in the eyepiece, but again, that's going to vary depending on what your camera is. And maybe you notice that I have the transmitter or microphone right here in my front pocket. And this works really well just as is, or if you want, you can move it closer to the source like so. And this is how most people like to use the microphones, because the closer you can get the microphone to the source, the clearer the sound. All right, so I'm going to test the microphones here in my backyard. And for those of you that don't know, I live in a relatively noisy area because my house is right at the intersection of two major highways in that direction. And then over here I have an Air Force base, so there's always helicopters flying over. And of course I live on a main road, which also I get a lot of fire trucks, ambulance, police cars going up and down. So anything can happen while I'm in the backyard, and that's why you don't see me doing a lot of vlogging or videos, I should say, in my backyard, because the distractions are numerous. Now that said, I think this microphone is holding up pretty well. As with really any external microphone system, it really helps cut down a lot of the ambient noise. So I'm going to just stay silent so you can hear the ambient noise levels without using the microphone. And I'm going to let you listen to actually camera B over here so that you can hear it. So so that's the ambient noise level. Right now it's actually pretty quiet for my neighborhood, but all right. And there's also just a light breeze, so that's but I do have the little wind muff on that comes with the mic to sort of minimize that wind noise. Now let's do a quick sort of distance test. Now generally speaking, you're not going to use the microphones much further away than 10 feet. Comica claims this has a 200-meter line of sight range, meaning if I'm facing the camera with the microphone in front. However, if I turn my back like this is not line of sight because now I'm blocking it. And at this range, you're not going to really have any problems. It's usually only when you start to walk back, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk probably about 20 or 30 meters back to my fence line with my back facing you, and you'll see how the audio holds up. So as I'm walking back here, I've done a lot of testing with different microphones, and most of them do okay. Sometimes there's a little bit of interference as I'm walking back in this direction, but for the most part, you can make out what I'm saying and understand what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm going to turn around, and again, this is much further than I think anybody would be comfortable using a microphone of any brand at any price, really. But even for video work, why would you walk that far away, right? But for general vlogging and photography, I think this is doing a much more than adequate job for this kind of purpose. What I want to do now is test the noise canceling feature built into the microphone. So all I have to do, if I can find it, it's so small, is right now there's a blue light on the receiver here, or transmitter I should say. And I just do one click on the side and it turns to a green light, and that tells me that now I'm in noise canceling mode. Now I have the microphone back on in noise canceling mode. And how does it sound? I'm going to stop talking so you can hear the ambient noise from the microphone. Wow, this is the quietest my yard has ever been. All right, now let's just listen to the ambient noise coming into the microphones at camera B over here. Now, when I was out here a little earlier doing some testing, a helicopter flew over, so I wanted to share with you the footage from that. This is a good opportunity because now a helicopter is going over, and I have the noise canceling feature turned on. But let's take a listen to the regular ambient noise. Now there's a jet plane taking off. I can hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear it because I have the noise canceling on, but it's pretty loud. All right, so this microphone system also has the ability to add headphones so you can monitor the audio in real time. And you do that through the USB-C port, and it comes with the cables to attach a standard headset. So let me see how it sounds. Ooh. Yeah, I can hear myself through the headphones, and there's virtually no delay. It's a very slight, I mean, I can hear a slight delay, but it's pretty much real time for all intents and purposes. And it's very clear. So a lot of cameras, they don't come with headphone jacks. Some of them do have microphone jacks, but not so many have both headphone and microphone jacks unless you go a little bit high end. So this is a very easy way to add headphone capability to cameras that don't have a headphone jack. And this is as good as real time, in my opinion. And the sound is very clear. It's really good. Now let's do another test here in the studio where I'm going to compare this mic directly against another Comica device, the what is this? The Vm20, which I use for all of my live streaming and things like that. And the audio quality from this little boom mic, the Vm20, is excellent. But let's see how this wireless microphone system compares. Now I'm talking from the wireless microphone just here in my front pocket, and just to give you an idea of how this sounds compared to, say, more of a studio microphone, because wireless microphones generally don't perform quite as well as studio microphones because, the little microphone condenser is a lot smaller. But I think the audio is still very good, and perfectly usable for interview type situations in the field, and of course, as I demonstrated, works very well outdoors. So I want to wrap up this review by putting the microphone in the ideal position, being closer to the source of the audio so that you can hear how this microphone really sounds in the ideal conditions of a studio. And I did do processing on both the studio microphone that I used before and this microphone, but the processing was exactly the same. It's very minor, mainly just some compression and volume adjustments. But I think this microphone sounds really good, and I wouldn't hesitate to use this in a studio situation, but especially outdoors with the noise cancellation feature. It was really amazing. I mean, it completely silenced all of the ambient noise, as you heard. But this is going to be my #1 go-to mic going forward whenever I'm working out in my backyard or doing vlogs out in the city. But I hope you liked this review. I'll have links down directly to the manufacturer if you'd like more information. But either way, I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you again soon.